everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, September the 8th, race number 6 at Del Mar. 2-year-olds get the spotlight in the Smokin Stakes. Let's take a peek at this field. The babies are going to go 3/4 of a mile. They are cow-bred, sired, or bred. 7 horses in here, Mike. Interesting group. Lord Prancelot just beat 4 of these last time out on the engine. He's 2 for 2, and he's plenty quick.
Yeah, nothing to knock about what he's done so far. He's a fast horse. He's been on the lead in both of his races. Actually made a really easy lead in that graduation last time when he beat several of these same horses. Dan, I'll expect him to come out of there running again and try to make the front.
So does Timeform US. It's a great segue to our pace projector for the Smokin. They have Lord Prancelot in front after the opening quarter mile. Shady Appeal chased Lord Prancelot in vain last time out. It'll be interesting to see how Mike Smith handles him from the inside post. He did go wire to wire from the rail 3 back in his debut.
He did, and he did. It seemed like, anyway, that he showed good speed that day. They moved him up into a stakes race for a second start. I don't know what happened that day, Dan, but he didn't come close to the lead, and he was under a ride when the gates opened. He just wasn't close to fast enough. Kind of the same thing last time. Just really couldn't get anywhere near Lord Prancelot on the lead, and got very tired in the stretch.
Let's talk a little bit about Shady Appeal. Breaking from the inside to kind of force their hands a little bit. They've got to come out of there running. They don't want to be shuffled back. But if they come out of there running and they hook Lord Prancelot early, it could hurt their chances. So this post position might hurt. And you're right. His last 2 starts have been a little bit disappointing. If he could somehow find that debut and take a step forward, then I think he can improve. He is Lord Prancelot's uncoupled stablemate. Jeff Bondi's a really good trainer, especially with 2-year-olds. He's got both of them.
Yeah, really, really good trainer. And listen, I think there has to be at least some hope that this horse can do a little better. Shady Appeal, I'm talking about, if only because, and just to talk about that graduation a little bit, Dan, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but the more I looked at that race, and then the more I looked at the surrounding dirt races on August 11th, I think the rail was a pretty big advantage at Del Mar, and Shady Appeal never really got near it. He was 3 wide around the turn drive, and he just got really tired, while Lord Prancelot lead, rail, managed to just hang on at the end. The horse that ran second to him, who's also back in here, sat on the inside the entire way and just couldn't quite get by him. I think being off the inside really might have affected Shady Appeal and some of the others.
That's something that could certainly work out in here if you're looking at horses with supposedly poor form like Shady Appeal. Maybe just was compromised by the way the track was playing. Lord Prancelot, as Mike mentioned, got to the lead, got to the rail, had no issues winning the graduation. He has yet to be headed from 2 lifetime starts. He's obviously very, very fast. He turns into the stretch with the lead. We see Last Call London down on the inside. He's going to ease out, make a run, and he's gaining on Lord Prancelot at the end. Far outside is Michi's Express, and he'll get up for 3rd. So they're running it, Lord Prancelot. Maybe the inside helped him out most.
It feels like the rail could have helped him. He was almost caught at the end of that race, another stride or 2, and he was not winning that race. I don't want to knock him too hard, Dan, because he's looked good in both of his starts, but I just feel like I can, poke little holes in him, especially through that last one where he just had control and might have been on the best part of the track. Even his debut, I mean, he looked good winning that day, but it was just one of those races where he ran, the runner-up ran. They were both big prices. They took no money at all, and they went 1-2 around the track, and nobody else did anything.
The 3 is Tiger in My Tank. He and Lord Prancelot are the only 2-time winners in this field. Let's watch Tiger in My Tank win a first-level allowance at Santa Rosa last time out, going 5.5 furlongs. He battled for the lead. He opened up in the stretch. He just better than these horses at odds on. This was his first race with blinkers. His only loss came at Pleasant in 2 starts back, and he faced a talented horse in Dreamfire that day.
Yeah, he was just in a little bit too tough that day. It doesn't feel like it feels like he's probably not in over his head here. He wins this race that we're watching very easily. I'm not sure that was, a super strong field behind him, Dan, but he did what he was supposed to do.
Maybe Smoke 'em Easy is kind of lurking under the radar for this race. He was very precocious. He won his debut in mid-May, and I like the way he did it. He kind of had to alter course down towards the inside, split horses, and was able to get up. But after that race, he missed 3 months. And then last time out in the graduation, not a great start off the rail.
Yeah, always off the inside. So maybe that's enough of an excuse. I mean, just not running from May to August after a pretty impressive debut might have been an excuse enough, Dan. And then he got away from the gate last in the graduation. He was 3 or 4 wide around the turn in a full-out drive. He didn't even come close in that race, and he got really tired through the stretch. But there were enough excuses for him, and he did look really good winning first time out.
As Mike noted, the 1-2 finishers of the graduation raced inside. Lord Prancelot, of course, on the lead. You saw Last Call London, who was in behind before easing to the 2-path in mid-stretch. Last Call London looks like the kind of horse that's going to run on in the stretch of his races. I'm a little concerned that sometimes he breaks slow, and maybe that would put him and leave him with too much to do turning into the stretch.
Yeah, that was certainly the case 2 starts back. He stumbled really bad at the start. He actually ran pretty well in that race with a big excuse. And he ran fine last time, Dan, but he sort of got outrun early in that race. And then he just continued to improve his position. They got him right to the rail, stayed on the inside. He kept moving forward. He just missed at the end. I thought it was another good performance. I wondered how much it was enhanced by him racing on the inside.
Mises Express, the number 6, just never seems to get any respect at the windows. He was 32-1 when he graduated 2 starts back. He certainly didn't run like a 32-1 shot. It looked like he got steadied in a little bit of trouble on the inside, got to the outside, kicked on late. We saw him kick on in the graduation for 3rd, despite being outside of horses. So if this pace is fast, this horse is going to be running, and he's likely to be a solid price again.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. It does feel like he's really improved recently. In particular, Dan, he was good 2 starts back. He did not have a great trip in that race, and he still won pretty convincingly, I thought. And then last time he was off the inside. He doesn't have a lot of speed, Dan. He's a really good gate horse. He breaks the gate, and he's with the leaders early. He just doesn't have any speed. So he's going to need maybe a little bit of hitting up front, but this horse is in good form right now. I think he fits really well in this race.
Keep an eye on the 7, Dr. Nono, who was beaten by Mises Express in his debut while giving away a ton of experience to that horse. And then in his second lifetime start, he really put it all together last month, going this 3/4 of a mile distance. He broke from the far outside post. He got into position on the outside. And once he makes the lead, it's a very easy victory. I think a similar trip is coming from the outside post again.
I agree. And I like the way that he sat a little early in this race, too, because there was a first-time starter in here who just ran off on a pretty fast pace early. This horse was comfortable sitting on the outside away from that horse. Then he made the run. That was a good performance. He did not have a great trip at all in his career debut. Not that Mises Express didn't have a great trip there either, but this horse didn't have some kind of easy trip in that race, and he ran pretty well.
Before we get to our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Time for our top selections. And Fridays, I'm smoking at Del Mar. You're going with Mises Express. Might have run on the worst part of the track last time out. Seems to be getting better and never gets respect at the windows.
Exactly. I just like his recent form. I think he can take another step forward here. Maybe he has something to run at this time and gets a fair trip. I also gave Smokin a look, Dan. I think he was compromised in that graduation last time. I think he can run a lot better.
I just think Lord Prancelot's going to get to the lead on him again, and maybe that's all it takes. He's going to have to prove his mettle at 6. He's done what he's had to do in his first 2 starts, and maybe a pace advantage will help him one more time. I'm not looking forward to taking a short price. 6,475 for Mike, 2,567 for me, and the I'm Smoking at beautiful Del Mar on Friday.